And then to go through other sectors that are already starting to use it, we're talking in the UK with a number of publishing houses about potential uses of it. One that's already happened in Germany, so Deutsche Zeitung magazine ran an AR-enabled copy of their monthly magazine, where they in fact had 4 spreads that were AR-enabled, and then different versions of content delivered. Some were still frame animation, which can be used. Some were pure text. And interestingly, they had one very nice little version where you held the channel open, the live view open, over the crossword, and you got the crossword solution. And we're talking about sort of paid for potential opportunities using that with 1 or 2 of the newspapers at the moment. Book sector, again, starting to think about AR, either on PC as a simple usage. This was a mobile usage where there were a number of spreads, number of pictures that were AR enabled to further enrich the content within the book. And then a sort of interesting one where there was a print and promotion scenario within the AR app. So this was Sausalitos, a chain of 26 restaurants in Germany, where they printed the ad in the magazine for Coke Zero, so joint cooperation with Coke Zero, and then holding the phone over the advert, the customer actually got a coupon back, which they then took into the restaurant, showed to the staff for discount. So AR app actually delivering a coupon through feature recognition. USA Today, this was a nice example because it actually happened for the Super Bowl, so only 2 months ago, was a combination of actually using both the location-based functionality and the feature recognition functionality. So I'll get the video to run, hopefully.
Hi, I'm Jerry Jones, owner and president of the Dallas Cowboys. Welcome to Cowboy Stadium.
So this was the weekend
home
before
of
the
Super
game.
Bowl 45. I want you to join me right here on Super Bowl Sunday, right here in the middle of Cowboy Stadium, for as exciting a time as I could imagine.
And this was the Monday straight after the game, with the advert on the front page of the newspaper, held in live view with the camera over it, and actually got the animated play from one of the touchdowns that happened the day before. Now the possibilities there were that could either been in the stadium scanning around looking for the points of interest that were planned in. In this case actually it was an out-of-event application, so the consumer could actually, by just moving their phone around wherever they were standing, scan around the stadium, find the points of interest, and then get the tour from the head guy from the Dallas Cowboys to do it.
So, one question.
Sure.
So, obviously Sky has a hell of a lot of data. So, we could easily then use this technology whereby someone could scan to get content, just in terms of showcasing content.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Now this is a really nice example because it does take things into a different league again. Again, I've got a video, so I won't talk about it. I'll just let you watch through it. But it certainly is a different spin, and hopefully something that most of you will not have seen, and you may not yet either.
The best part about building your track is that you can build it anywhere. Hey, that's my hairpin turn. Alright, I'm done with my track. To unlock track building, use the front of the Red Bull can. Then start it up. Trace the tops of the cans until you've captured them all. Then press stop. Now it's race time. Alright, the Whitlash track is done. Now comes the fun part.
So I think, there's been a lot of talk again about personalisation and mobile, and really it's sort of almost an ultimate personalisation game experience using AR. building your own track and then racing around your own track on your own phone. Thanks. Again, in terms of interactive print example, and again, something that we're talking to a lot of the car industry about now, about using interactive print either on a kiosk basis or on a mobile basis. This one was the front cover of Time Out Kids, delivering video content straight back through the mobile phone. Entertainment sector starting to get into this. We're talking to a number of the magazine sector about this, about front cover usage of AR. This was Black Eyed Peas in the States, where actually, rather than a magazine, their CD cover was the visual trigger. And by doing that, they would get animated versions of the band, come back and talk to them with music as well. Ben & Jerry's, this was a nice example as well, which has happened January of this year.
Meet MoveVision, the world's first markerless mobile augmented reality experience. Go beyond the packaging and bring your Ben & Jerry's pint to life. Just power it up, watch it engage, and take a journey with Ben & Jerry's. Meet the fair trade cocoa farmer who makes milk and cookies possible. Learn more about him and share your discovery with your friends. Always wanted to go to the Big Apple? Let Ben & Jerry's take you there with New York's Super Fudge Chunk. And don't forget the chickens. These cage-free birds just love flapping their wings and gossiping about the hen house. At launch, there are 4 dioramas to discover. Brag about each one on Facebook and Twitter to make your friends jealous. But the real goal is to collect them all. That's when you unlock your prize. Unique Ben & Jerry's iPhone wallpapers. MoveVision is the newest addition to Ben & Jerry's Scoop of Happiness app. Grab it today.
Okay. And then final example, and in the case studies, was interactive TV. Now, I'm still battling as to whether this is actually more than just image recognition. But it's a very interesting example, and certainly in terms of interactivity of mobile with TV, where there was a game show using image recognition on the phone, holding it up in front of the TV set. Quiz show with a number of answers that people could vote on. The screen was replicated directly through image recognition on your mobile phone, and then consumers could actually vote on their mobile phone, transmitted straight to the TV station. So, really increasing the level of consumer and audience interactivity. Very nice example, but as I said, quite sure if that's AR or not, or just image recognition. Now, I'll just go to... So where's mobile AR going from here, really? I think there are 2 major things which are actually happening in the next, or happening now, or happening in the next couple of months, which will actually even explode out from where we are in terms of AR and mobile. Firstly, which has been talked about slightly, is obviously the tablets. The great news for us of obviously iPad 2 going in and with the Android tablets coming on stream pretty soon is that we're already starting to get inquiries about using AR on tablets. Now, what sort of things could be done on that? Well, really, quite a lot of the stuff that has been at the moment talked about on kiosk could be done on tablet, and I'll just run this example very briefly of one that's already happened. So this is a furniture app. There's been a couple of little furniture examples on iPhone, one of IKEA in Spain, but obviously in terms of consumer experience, far better to do this, far better experience to have this on a tablet, where the consumers are literally dropping in the furniture into their own front room, taking a picture of their room, and then dropping the furniture in to see for the first time what a new piece of furniture actually looks like in their own front room, and then be able to move that about, rotate that about, and far better than any current furniture visualization tools. The tablet will be excellent for this sort of consumer usage. And then we are also getting a lot of traction from the car industry, who've been mentioned a number of times. They do tend to like their innovation, those guys. One application that we're getting a lot of interest at this very early stage is...
There's actually nothing there if you look up an entire vehicle, and we build a very interactive
like
interface.
This. So this would have been this is in
around,
fact an event, exhibition,
the camera.
but this sort of thing
As you
we're
notice,
talking
there's
about now
people
doing in
in
the
the background to create
dealership environment.
that real illusion.
Using tablet.
I can zoom in on the
So
vehicle
in this
on
case,
different
there
levels,
wasn't
so
actually
cutting
a
into
car,
it,
and
being able
augmented
to see
reality
all
was
the
putting
different
the
parts.
car into the
So it
scenario.
allows me to explore the
But in the
vehicle
dealership
beyond what I
environment,
can
we could do
normally
that for new models,
with a real vehicle because of
or
the cutout.
we're looking at a situation where we maybe
I can zoom
walk
back
around
out,
the
switch
car
different
that's
colors,
already in there,
and really have
picking
some
up
fun with
certain
this.
visual
It's
triggers
just
that are
one
on the car
application
itself,
of
and then getting,
our
I
extension
suppose,
here,
pre-programmed
using our
digital
augmented
content
reality
coming back.
technology.
Now, the
other
beauty
thing
of
I
that
can
from
do,
the car
which is
manufacturer's
really
point
neat,
of view
is what we call
they're in
magic book.
absolute control
And I can
of
switch
the
to
sales
magic book mode just by
where we're looking at dealer staff plus the consumer walking around the car, and literally there is a path around the car with digital content being given to them, high quality, in a pre-programmed way. And as I said, we've already had probably 3 or 4 inquiries, and I've got conversations with 8 or 9 of the big car marks going at the moment about various forms of AR, either on tablets or on kiosk. The other big development is in a number of the brands we talk to about the feature recognition possibilities within Geneo. They love that, they're very interested in that, but some of the pushback has been, we'd like to have the functionality, but given our brand, given where we are, we don't see ourselves being just a channel within the Geneo app or within an AR app. The good news is that within about a month's time, we'll be able to import effectively the functionality into a native or standalone app. So for now, for example, the Royal Mail in the future will not be a Royal Mail channel in the Geneo app, it would be a Royal Mail app which had full AR functionality in it, which makes a lot of sense, and I think will open up the market for feature recognition, certainly from where it is now. So that and tablet, I think, really could be the next key triggers for growth of mobile AR. Now, before I get asked, it's a question that we always do get asked about, what is the killer app going to be for mobile AR? My view would be at the moment, I don't think there will be one. I think really that, as in most of these things, the technology is just a delivery system. It is nothing more than that. And really, the king will be content, as it always will be. And now that brands and agencies are starting to become aware of the possibilities that AR can deliver, that they're starting to get their heads around the sort of thing it can and can't do, that will be the driver of mobile AR. And it will be the content, the proposition, and of course the consumer benefit that can be driven through that, which will really lead the charge on mobile AR. And it's not difficult to start to think about the scenarios of where people could use it. This could be a list as long as your arm, but in fact I have to thank Martin Croft for this, because he was only telling me about this morning, because I've got up on here at breakfast, for example, the day could start in mobile AR terms with the consumer scanning the cereal pack and getting some sort of content back. And Martin told me about Nestle have launched an initiative in 53 countries where they'll be scanning actually using a code rather than using natural feature recognition as we're tending to use at the moment. But it's a tie-in to a film company where they'll be getting the animated characters back off of the cereal packet. So a good example of one of those that's already happening. And then en route to the meeting, you get all the location-based stuff in terms of find the nearest tube station, find the times of the trains, and then at lunch, when you're popping out to lunch after the meeting, you're then trying to find the fast food chain that's got the promotion on at the moment, where you can enjoy and benefit from that promotion. And then on the train going home, phone out, open it up, and then scan the picture to get some sort of content back. So you start to build a picture of, as the content options start to build for mobile AR, and mobile AR starts to become a usage pattern, or can start to become a usage pattern, that's what's going to trigger the growth of mobile AR. So where can it go? I'm glad the last speaker said that Juniper are very respected, because I've got a Juniper stat in here. God knows if it's right. I can't certainly say if it's right or if their figures are right or wrong. But I really put it in just to give a sort of scoping of where it can go. They're saying that in 4 years' time, And again, very important to stress, the mobile AR market could be around $800 million. So, you know, in an answer to the question that I was set by the guys at IPM, is this a gimmick? $800 million obviously isn't a gimmick if they're anywhere near right on this sort of prediction. And I think the interesting point about that is, and what gives us certainly a lot of confidence about that this can be a serious market, is that you look at the range of sectors in terms of location-based services as a revenue stream, gaming, which I haven't really touched on, but gaming will be a driver certainly of all AR, both on PC and on mobile. Multimedia, education and reference in terms of books, in terms of publishing and all those areas. Lifestyle and home, where we see things like the furniture apps, those sort of things in terms of mobile AR, enterprise and social networking. So there's a whole load of business areas that could contribute. And some of those, whether those shares of voice and shares of spend are actually right, who knows? But it is not inconceivable to think that that figure is going to be a long way out. So this is far more than a gimmick, and we certainly believe that the technology has a lot of potential and should be something that a lot of brands and agencies should be starting to think about now, which I can assure you they are.